Hello, world.
I would
Hello,
probably,
world. We're
Hank,
back.
if you offered me strawberries and cream right now, I'd eat strawberries and cream. I'd eat it in a bowl. I'd eat it on a plate.
Don't you guys
I'd eat
wish
it.
that you could hear what we talk about before we go live?
You're all out of control. Hello, world. Welcome. We are back after a hiatus of a couple of months because I had a human, or rather, my wife did, and we were at a good breaking point in our campaign. So, we are kind of considering this Act 2, Part 2 of our campaign. We just had a major turning point in our plot, much to the chagrin of our players, who are emotionally shattered. Yeah, this is our 34th session. Welcome back, and we're going to get right into it. I'm going to do a quick recap here, since it's been a while. So, when last we left our heroes, they just visited the Hexenwald to meet with the witches there to try to get an exorcism performed to remove Lynn's demon. They
Remove the demon.
The demon did get removed, for what it's worth. Yeah, they met several witches of different temperaments and skills, and explored the Hexenwald, met them, spoke with them, determined that Mother Mab, the eldest of the witches, was going to be the most capable of assisting them. She never speaks. She rides on a great black wolf, and they were able to persuade her to perform a ritual to extract the demon from Lynn's body. However, things went sideways. Lynn was injured in various ways while the demon tried to break free. She was in critical condition. The demon emerged and proved to be a rather challenging foe that, when it died, started to engulf the entire Hexenwald in a massive cloud of blood mist. The party was able to flee and escape, barely. Several people almost got swallowed by the mist and had to fight their way out.
It was one of those like comical escape scenes where someone falls down and someone else picks them up. Then the person that helped falls down, and the person that was just down picks them up. And yeah.
Yes,
wasn't
but you
elegant.
managed to get out without anybody fully succumbing to the mist, and made your way out into the plains outside of the Hexenwald, where you watched from afar as it was swallowed up with red mist. And as you were discussing what to do, you realized that Lynn was in critical condition, in need of healing. I should also mention that Mother Mab, when you asked her to help and escort the girl out of the forest, refused to do so and turned her back on you and fled. You escaped from the forest, tried your best to treat Lynn's injuries, but ultimately she succumbed to them, and then, rather horrifyingly, reanimated and started crawling.
It was
towards the
beautiful.
forest.
It was like it wasn't like
No,
Yeah,
not
was
your
like,
thing. He's talking about when she started crawling towards.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, so
curb stomp.
yeah, who did the curb stomping? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that would be Ralgar.
Ralgar.
And then her spirit was able to emerge and speak to Velas, who she forgave for everything, and told her that she was able to see the demon's thoughts, that it was summoned and kept in this world by some dark magic centered in the holdfast of Vond, the grand citadel of Zygofer / Zytera, and that only by breaking the binding there can you prevent this from happening to others. Velas swore to her that she would do this, and then Lynn's spirit disappeared. We're not resuming right there. We're jumping to Vergello, who is marching southward with a party of dwarves. He's been marching for days southward across the plains of Margelda. There's a warm summer breeze, birds chirping in the trees, and a party of very sanctimonious dwarves and dwarven priests and nobles who are traveling south to their ancient homeland of Belderand, which, to your understanding, is the dwarven homeland of the Stone Singers, the priestly order of dwarves, who have taken up the divine task of singing songs to shape the stones of the earth into a form according to the calling of their god Huge, to expand the foundations of the earth and create beautiful stoneworks in his name. You have been marching south for days. You are carrying with you a large pink crystal that you have been gifted, that you've been told contains the magic of the Stone Singers and will summon a fortification anywhere that you decide to plant it in the earth. You've been handed the crystal and told to safeguard it, and also told that if you sing to it while you are traveling, it may carry some of your imprint into it when it becomes your new home in the future.
Oh, great.
Of which
We're gonna
I'm
live in an
singing
opera
to
house.
it daily.
My question to you is, what manner of songs are you singing to it?
Without naming any titles or artist names. No.
T-Swift?
Yeah, obviously some T Swift,
Exclusively.
T-Pain. Gotta throw in some T-Pain in there.
Newsweek, Arms Heavy.
I think at the start of the journey, a lot of them's gonna be songs about like sort of safeguarding a home kind of deal. Things, keeping my friends and family safe, because that's going to be really heavy on my mind with everything that like is going on with Lynn, and knowing that my friends are traveling out there in the wilds without me. And then after a couple of days, depending on how long we've been traveling, like a couple times after that, I'll switch to things that are more like happy tones, happy songs, because I want it to be a happy place. And I'm not thinking anything like, I think occasionally still interject a song about protection and safety. Powerful kings who've had powerful castles, and armies who've had defendable walls, and then songs about like happy little villages with people that have been happy and have like lots of food and having happy little lives.
Okay. So you do that. You're traveling south, and you are accompanying the group of Stone Singers who are also traveling with the King of Belderand and his retinue. You may remember that he was the big guy that they were carrying in on a palanquin. The festival at Stone Garden has concluded, and so you're traveling south with a group of dwarven priests, all of his bodyguards, and his noble children, who include Regalda and Berwild, the two siblings that sent you to try to find and rescue their brother, who ended up being killed by orcs. King Turek is the name of the king who's traveling south with you. So it's a slow-moving group, but you are making your way south. And up ahead, you see a great mountain range emerging before you across the plains, and they tell you that deep in those mountains is where Belderand is. They also tell you that outsiders are not permitted into Belderand proper, but that exceptions can be made in the upper encampments in the mountains, because you have proven yourself friends of the dwarves and done a great sacred task for them. So they're not going to let you into the city proper, but they will let you camp out in the trade district on the outside. You get the impression that you may be one of very few non-dwarves in sight once you make your way up into those mountains. You can see at the base of the mountains a winding path leading up into the peaks that is just lined with huge columns of white marble, intricately decorated with runes on both sides, big arches between them, just these impossibly huge white marble sculptures lining the entire passage up into the mountain. You can't imagine someone crafting this by hand, but you know that the stone singer's magic is capable of creating great stoneworks, so you're in for some treats. The journey up the mountain is going to be long, and it's getting late at night, so you're actually camping out at the base of the mountain. And the stone singer Bearwild, who is the one that gave you the crystal, is going to stop and look up at the sky and turn to you and say, "That doesn't bode well."
I stop my humming to the crystal and I look at him and then look up at the sky.
Red moon waning. 'Tis an ill omen. Some dark blood magic has been worked this night, or perhaps tragedy has befallen someone. Best just hope it's not us. Some other poor soul.
Let's hope it's not anyone we care about on either side. And I kind of look towards the direction that I know my friends kind of went, which I guess would be east.
Meanwhile, on the border of the Hexenwald, you all look up to a red moon in the sky, and you're discussing what to do next.
I mean, guys, I feel like at some point we're just talking in circles. Do we go to meet Vergello, or are we going south to the Stone Loom Mines? We got to get this figured out.
I told you, I don't really care where we go next. I'm just happy to still be with everyone. I mean, that sucked for a little while. If you'll excuse me, I gotta step over here and do something real quick. And I just step out of the circle, and I start howling at the red moon, because, like, how often do you get to howl at a red friggin' moon, right? So I'm gonna do that. Leave the conversation to the group.
Dog, Grunrock, care to weigh in?
I'm fine with I'm fine with wherever you guys saved me from starving in a cage. Wherever you guys want to go, I'll follow.
Scout. Then we should find Vergello. I don't know if we have it in us to attack the mines right now.
All right. Well, Thalia, want to weigh in? You're here too.
Dahlia's a bit shattered. She's taking some drinks out of a flask that she carries with her, and she's not got a lot of composure at the moment after the Lynn episode. You're just asking her to weigh in with a vote about what you do?
Yeah.
She says that she would vote. She says, "I will follow you wherever you may go, but I think we should try to find Vergello and retrieve that stronghold crystal. We don't know what we're getting into in the Stone Loom Mines, and if there should be danger or problems, it would be good to have a safe place to retreat to, perhaps." She also worries about carrying the crown into the heart of a strange dungeon.
Yeah, and then I run back, and when she says that she's worried about that, I say, yeah, I mean, for real, you can't expect me to do any of my amazing magic with that thing sitting around still. We gotta find somewhere to store it safely, or get rid of it.
Is this
Definitely think we're gonna need it.
crystal the same thing that's in this crown? I'm assuming I'm still holding the crown you yeeted at the end of last session in anger.
What crystal are you referring to?
Viridia's heart crystal.
Oh,
Viridia?
you mean the
What's her name?
Stone Singer's crystal?
Viridia. Or Heartstone.
The heartstone.
Yeah. So I know that the crown is not practical for magic. I have a lot of feelings about just leaving it though, because I don't know how we're going to leave it protected. We know that it's a valuable item. I kind of agree with both Dahlia and Grunrock. I mean, we need to meet up with Vergello. He needs to know what's going on. And yet, as close as we are to the Stone Loom mines, I feel like the least we should do is scout them out. Not do like a full push, but see what we're getting into.
Okay, my paws in. Let's do it. But just a scouting mission.
Just a scouting mission. Can I get that crown
Alright.
back, please, dog?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the crystals for a second. I was like, and pass it over to you.
All right, so you decide to set off southwards towards the Stone Loon mines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yarp.
To your knowledge, it is deep in the heart of the forest known as the Shroud, which is actually the home forest of a member of the party.
Time to pull up my notes.
The party member waved and smiled.
It's me.
I would love to hear
Gotta remember that
Grunrock.
push
It's
the
me.
talk button.
I'm the problem. It's me. So we are. Are we assuming
It's
like
me.
morning the next day?
I
I don't know where we're leaving off with the time of day.
I don't know what you said, Bill.
I'm saying I don't know where we left off.
Oh
with
yeah,
the
I've
time
got
of
no
day.
idea what time of day it is.
I will check. Well, it's evening. We skipped ahead to evening.
Man.
So when the sun rises, you will set out. So we'll skip. We'll assume it's the next morning after all of the stuff happens. So let's go ahead
Let's
and
go.
make some
Food or
rolls.
water rolls? Voss
I
was
was
super
just saying-
thirsty.
Oh, hang on. Ignore those. Ignore my rolls.
I was really dehydrated from crying so hard.
Okay. I had Vergello's character sheet up still.
All right. And with that, we set out. All right. So you want to go southeast into the Shroud?
Do
The
we still have the
shroud.
horses with us? Yeah, we
Yep.
still got the horses with us.
Yeah, didn't the girl with the broom say that she tied them up or something?
Yeah.
She guided them out of the forest and
'Cause
reunited
we've
you
got to
with them,
lead
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
We've got to lead them through the shroud, right? We can't ride them.
Yeah, you can do that. They will not slow you down, but they will not speed you up either.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Right. Let's get a pathfinding roll.
Is Carrot still with us too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Carrots.
The most magical horse of them all.
Ooh, well,
I'm not convinced the Carrot isn't going to sprout a horn at some point.
first roll of the night, and
Big
I
old
failed.
orange one.
I have notes that say Carrots is very afraid of storms. Carrots loves Ralgar. Carrots is very lucky. Those are my notes on carrots.
Yeah, I've got a lucky horse.
Carrots survived a
A
griffin,
Yeah.
in a thunderstorm.
As usual, our navigation sucks. You head into the shroud, and it is difficult. We're going to have a traveling mishap. Let's see what it is.
If it's orcs, I'm gonna cry.
I'm not.
Oh,
That
No,
always
it's a
bodes well.
66. It's a 66.
Are they going to be really great or really terrible?
I don't know how
Oh,
any of
it's
this
terrible.
works yet. I'm still terrified.
Never forget the one time we got like a magical resting spot. That was great.
Okay, this actually is one you're not going to immediately notice. You're going to still make travel progress. Let me reveal on the map here.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
I'm just glad we still make progress.
You do make progress. And let me roll for an encounter possibility. Yeah.
5 of number 3.
You are going to not have any encounter during the morning.
Okay.
As you are traveling, you catch sight of a gathering of ravens up in the branches that are making a lot of racket. And as you move through the trees, the whole cloud of ravens seems to move along with you, chattering to one another, looking around at one another, and then after following you for the better part of an hour, way up high in the branches, they all flutter off somewhere to the south.
Nice. The Raven sisters.
Yeah, do we think that was Viril the Bloodbeak or Marigal? Like, God.
I've heard of one raven being an omen. I imagine a cloud of ravens.
That'll be it for the morning. So if you would like to continue traveling during daytime, you can head south into mountains or southeast into more forest.
I think forest.
I would
Yes,
look
like-
to Grunrock and ask his opinion, as he's from the Shroud.
Grunrock, the massacre of your people happened about 2 hexes to the southeast of here, in the thick, dark part of the forest, where bands of Icer orcs swept through on a murderous rampage. You also know that the mountains directly to the south are full of former dwarf settlements that have been abandoned since the stone loom mines were abandoned. There used to be dwarves up there, so you don't know those mountains very well, but you know that they have moved on.
I'm assuming I'm familiar enough with the southeastern hexes, like the deep parts of the forest, or...
Yeah, that used to be your stomping ground. If you do the navigation in any of the forested hexes in the northern half of the Shroud, I will give you 2 extra dice on it. But when you lived in this region, there was still the blood mist, so you didn't travel that broadly. But you know enough about the geography from having lived near here to navigate it with some more reliability.
If we stick to the forests, I could probably get us there safely, but The last time I was in this forest, there was a horde of orcs, so the mountains could be more beneficial. There are some abandoned settlements that could provide good cover, too.
So do you want to go into a hex that potentially you could stumble on an abandoned dwarven settlement, or do you want to go into a hex where your goblin friend will get +2 to his navigation rolls?
What's your navigation +2? Is it better than dogs?
What's the base on that? Is that survival?
It's survival, yeah.
So it's wisdom, I think.
+2 would make it 5, I think.
I mean, dog would still prefer the forest either way.
I don't think
He
it's
doesn't-
better than dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I've enjoyed our time with the dwarves so far. I wouldn't mind running into some more of them.
What'd you say?
I mean, except for that. If we done dwarven settlement, if we run into more dwarves, that's okay. So far, it's been great with the dwarves, except for that first one that was in the balloon.
The one in the balloon was pretty tragic, but I feel like the mountains might be more difficult to traverse.
I'm more comfortable in a forest. I just feel a better connection with nature than I do the mountains.
All right, it's decided. Let's do it.
Through the forest, then.
All right, so you head southeast.
Yeah.
Let's get our navigation roll, survival.
Whew,
All
I'm
right,
only just a
nice.
little more comfortable.
It's still a new hex, so let's do encounter roll. Ooh, spicy. All right, hang on.
Don't say that.
This time, it's twice as many ravens.
There will be an encounter, and I need to look up what it will be.
62 ravens.
Forest.
While he looks that up, can we all just appreciate Sirenscape and this like beautiful background woodsy music it's providing? Sirenscape, your one-stop shop for all your background needs.
Yeah, it's the best.
You are struck by a pungent
Reading the robots.
stench. Up ahead is a huge greenish-brown pile of dung surrounded by large, frantically buzzing insects. The pile is larger than a full-grown human and has not yet hardened.
Do I know something that would poo that large?
You can make a survival or animal handling roll to give it a guess. No, and that will
Nope.
not be pushable.
Wait, if I go and push my
And the
arm
rest
in
of us
the
try as
poo?
well.
Hold on, you
Can
talked over
I-
each other. What was that?
I would
I
say-
just asked, can other people try as well?
Sure.
Not
Can I
that I've
roll
got great survival.
Lore to know of anything, to know of any creatures that would make a dung pile that size. In
This
this
is
area?
survival or animal handling in place of lore for this.
Well, that's fine. Falas got a success.
Okay. Please hold.
Okay.
What do you think
All
about that,
right.
Hank?
Velocity. Couple of things. One, this is fresh, and the thing that it came from is probably nearby. Two, it is from some sort. Somebody's ringing.
Sorry.
There is the smell of necrotic flesh and bits of barely digested material in here. And you think that whatever this is, it might have come from some huge undead monstrosity. That is devouring things and barely digesting them before passing them along.
Well,
You also find a toe in there that looks like it could be human.
I don't know whether or not to be more disturbed by the fact that this is some large, possibly undead thing, or that there are just like humans wandering around this far southeast. Both of these things are very alarming to me, everyone.
I just don't like how it smells. It's just foul. I think we should get a move on.
Whatever this is close.
Let's go the long way. Keep an eye out.
When you say the long way,
Yeah?
Yeah.
are you? I thought we were going straight to Stone Bloom.
I mean,
Where else do you want to go?
I was just thinking we could go a little around and come from the side in case this thing's, still in this area.
Aren't you from around here, Grunrock? I mean, we could see where you're from. I know that last time you were here it wasn't great, but we could visit their graves.
There aren't any graves. Let's go around then.
I mean, if this is too tough, we can try. I'm not trying to force you into anything.
That way, it'll get us around the mountain. I can't speak to approach from the other side, but I'm familiar with this area.
Since it is summertime, you have another quarter day to travel in light before taking any navigation penalties. So if you want to travel in the evening, you can do so now. Do you want to try to cover another hex?
I think so to
You can
get
travel
away
in the
from this
evening,
thing.
though. Grunrock can't sleep.
We'll just
But
sleep
Grunrock can't
in the
sleep.
night. We'll just sleep at night, like
Oh,
we can set up.
We'll just spend the morning at camp. It'll be nice.
Yeah, we'll do that. I think it'll be safer. I don't want to sleep
Oh,
in
we
this
can
area.
sleep in.
There's an undead that leaves
Let's push
shit
on.
the size of humans.
Okay. Let's get a survival roll then. Navigate your way up into the mountains. The approach from this direction is going to be steep. There's going to be a fair amount of climbing and a fair amount of doubling back and pathfinding to try to make your way up into the mountains to locate the Stone Loom mines.
We're going to the southeast.
Wait, I'm
First.
confused. I thought we were going. Yeah, we're going.
Oh,
Yeah.
south
okay.
more.
Gotcha. Yeah, go ahead.
We're visiting Grunrock's old stomping grounds as a way to move around this undead.
Nailed it.
Barely. I don't like how my dresser is a main character because my blur doesn't want to ignore it.
All right, you're covering another hex, and it is now getting close to nightfall. It's starting to get too dark to navigate any further this day. Grunralk, you are getting familiar sights around you. the territory that you're traveling over is where you used to live and roam during the times of the Blood Mist. You had a small village here in the forest, and the only other civilization you had contact with was some of the halfling villages to the southeast from here along the coast, because goblins and halflings have a special connection in this setting, as you may recall. And you are sad to see that the forest has completely retaken the villages that used to belong to your people after the orcs came through, ravaged everything, pillaged everything, and drove you to flee. They left everything to rot, and the forest is just, you see scraps of tents and occasional bones littering the places where your villages once were, of bodies that were never properly buried, and everything is just rotting and covered in viney growth.
Well, welcome home.
Oh, Grunwald, this was bad. Okay. Look. Do you want to maybe spend like a little bit of time here, and I can help you lay everyone to rest the right way, clean up a bit? We don't have to, but the thing about my necromancy is that it's not all like zombies, It's also about honoring death the proper way. And if it would help you feel any better, I can help you out here. Don't have to, though.
I'll get back to you about honoring the dead, but I do think we should probably stay here tonight. Unfortunately.
Grenrock, as you are milling about, sifting through the ruins as twilight is falling, you suddenly freeze as you realize that there is a huge brown hound staring at you through the trees. Just a big, muscular dog with spittle dripping from its mouth, and it's eyeing you and
I'm frozen solid, eyes locked with it. I drop my sword, and I'm just staring at it, kind of hands down to my side.
it takes a few steps towards you, still growling. And then a voice from behind it says, "Killer! Back off!" And the dog goes, "Huh?" And it goes running back into the trees. And you see a scruffy old trapper step forwards. The dog traveling right at his heels as he approaches. And he says, "Hail there, little goblin." This is no one you recognize. It is a trapper dressed in leather with fangs and trinkets hanging all over him. He looks like he's been outdoors for ages. He has a big bushy beard, and his hair is a bit sun-bleached, and he approaches you with a warm smile on his face.
I'm going to nod at him and then kind of position myself where I'm the opposite of the dog. Like he's in between me and the dog.
Not seen
Why are
goblins
you
in these
here?
parts in quite some time.
Well, yeah, not many survived. What are you doing here?
This is my home. Since the Blood Mist, anyway. Know these forests like the back of my hand. The name is Simon. You
Oh,
traveling with
Simon.
others?
Not really. No. Yes. I don't know. You're in a burial ground. And
Burial
I'll pick
ground.
my sword up and point it at him. It's disrespectful.
Hey, easy now. The dog is at you threateningly, and he's holding him back, and he's like, "No need for all of that." Look,
I'll take a deep breath, and as he's starting to try to placate me, I'll turn and point at a tent, and I'm just going to start naming off families that were staying in specific spots.
Ah, so you're one of the old clan that used to live here, eh?
Probably the only one left.
Sorry to hear it. What was it that took 'em? Was it the bloodlings? Was it the orcs? Was it the horror of the mines?
The orcs. Icier.
Oh, yeah. I remember their campaign of destruction. Swept through here. Wasn't just your people that fell to them that time.
You too?
I lost kinsmen, yes.
I'm going to squint at him a little harder and see if his or the dog's eyes are glowing yellow.
Okay. It does not appear so.
I have companions, but they're not gonna like me telling you that they're here. This way.
And I'll turn and walk towards the campsite, the group.
The answer to the question I was whispered is no. All right, you head back towards the camp, and he will follow you. He whistles at the dog, and it just trots along behind him like everything's fine. Once you turn your back, it seems to be in less of a defensive position. Grunrock walks up. He's got a friend with him. Oh. Not the sort of folk I was expecting to see. You see him reach for a knife at his side when he spots that there's an orc in your party. He's eyeing you suspiciously. Then he notices that there's an elf and a wolfkin, and he's just thoroughly confused. And then he takes his hand off. And then he... Oh, and a human, yeah. And then he takes his hand off of the knife and just sort of leans against a tree and scratches his head.
We're aside, aren't
is
we?
this little mishmash?
I don't know who you are, but your hound is beautiful. May I?
All right.
Then I walk over and I get down on all fours and I start sniffing the hound's butt.
Killer
Just
sniffs
wagging
your
my
butt
tail.
and wags his tail.
What a strange thing. Why are you... Where are you... I'm Veloz. What are you doing here?
I live in these woods. I subsist in these woods. I come from the village to the east. Fishing village, but there's too many bad memories there, so I prefer to be on my own these days. And these forests have been strangely quiet ever since the old denizens were driven out by, well, a whole number of things.
I look up from sniffing and I just go, haha, oh, did you get dumped and you ran away? And I go back to sniffing.
Something like that. What business has an elf, a wolfkin, a human, a goblin, and an orc in a forest like this? He's not laughing when he asks you that. I just am.
We're on our way to the Stone Loom Mines.
His eyes go wide, and he's like, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea."
Why not? We're gonna get rich. Haha.
Is that what you've heard?
Oh yeah.
That is a terrible, accursed place. None dare go anywhere near it.
Why?
Do you not know the legend of the Stone Loom Mines? It was once a rich mine belonging to the Merimanian dwarves. It was abandoned after the Third Alder Wars, or so it was believed. The truth is, they were eaten by something that moved into their home. Rumors whisper that the mad wizard Zygofer cursed his family as they fled his increasingly frightening presence. Tainted with demonic infection from his curse, his daughter, the little girl Marga, sought shelter among the dwarves in the Stone Loom Mines, where she turned into something that consumed them all. None have dared enter the caves since.
That is absolutely believable. Yeah. Yeah. A little girl turned into something that consumes everything. Yeah, I believe that. I do. I
Raugar.
do. So, yeah.
This thing that consumes people. Probably not the size of a little girl anymore. Probably like super large. Has anyone actually seen it?
Probably
I've told
takes
you
big
most of what I
dogs.
know. They say it lives in the that it lives in the walls, that it roams the mines, and that it drove out an entire clan of dwarves single-handedly, such that none will dare return even in search of their vast lost treasures.
There's actual treasure there?
Well,
Of
it was a
course
great-
there is, Veloz. That's what we're here for. Oh
It was
my
one of the
God.
greatest mines that the dwarves ever dug. They say it's a vast and labyrinthine complex, but utterly abandoned. The horror there was too great.
And no one's been in it?
I can't say. I've never seen any dwarves try to return. I know there used to be an entire civilization of them here.
Well, dwarves aren't
Just
the most
another
bold.
place. Just another place driven into corruption and madness by the influence of the Dark One.
Bit of a
It's
pain
okay.
in the
You
ass.
can say his name.
Well, Zygofer is what they call him. Or Zytera, I've heard.
Do you want to come with us?
Why would I want to go anywhere near that accursed place? I've seen enough dark magic in my time to know the damage it can cause. And if it took out an entire clan of dwarves, I want to be nowhere near it. They say
Well-
without some sort of magical protection, it is a suicide mission to enter into such a place.
Okay, that's news. Who says that, and where can we get the magical protection?
The dwarves said such when they left, but I've seen none return, so whatever they were seeking to protect them, they must not have found it. Or they could have gone in and not returned.
Do you know where the dwarves went?
They went to live with the other dwarven civilizations. Some went to join the Canides, some went to join the Belduranians to the west. He points towards the mountain peaks that you could see from the plains and gestures in that general direction. They're not here anymore. That much I know.
No, we just came from Stone Garden. That place is awesome.
Oh, you've journeyed far then.
Oh yeah, we're like professional adventurers. We're gonna get so rich.
You might consider joining us for a number of reasons. First, untold wealth and treasure.
Don't
that
want
is-
it, don't need it.
Second,
Also-
great way to get over a breakup.
Third, you could really round out the party. Elf, human, wolfkin, goblin, orc. I'm just
Fourth,
saying.
Veloz doesn't have a boyfriend.
Oh, God.
Dahlia's
What
in the back just looking offended because you just totally forgot that you have a human with you.
Oh, I thought that he was a halfling. My
No.
bad, I misunderstood. I thought he was a halfling.
No, he's not a halfling.
Oh, I bet you're interested now, Veloz. As he stands up to full out.
He's been slouching
Maybe he
the whole
was
time.
kneeling earlier. Just like kneeling and scratching his dog.
Could you at least, like, maybe show us towards the entrance?
I would
Clearly
rather
you're too
not.
afraid to
I can tell you where it is and what it looks like, but I'm not going anywhere near it.
Don't expect to cut at the treasure then.
I already told you. Don't need it, don't want it. He gestures up into the mountains, a short distance from you. The ones just rising up out of the forest. You can see the peaks popping up over the tops of the trees nearby. He says, you'll find your way up a long, winding rise there. And he's giving you a general outline of which way to go. He tells you it'll double back a couple of times, branch to the right, you'll follow it. And then somewhere up there in the middle peaks, they say that the entrance to the mines has a great gate of oak that you will see built into the mountainside, and the ruins of an old dwarf encampment outside.
Oh, whoa. Thanks.
I'll try and chart a map as best I can for us to use that for an approach off of what he's saying.
Do you and Killer want to make camp with us tonight? You gotta be a little bit lonely being out here in the woods all by yourself.
That I'll agree to.
All right. Well, come on. Let's make camp.
All right. You camp for the night?
Yeah, let's do it.
If you all
Ooh,
want to
we're
rest, he'll
sleeping in
offer
the
to be
morning,
on
too,
watch. But it's up to you if you want to trust him with that or not.
No.
I'll watch. You get some sleep.
I'm also gonna stay up with Grunrock because I don't like the fact that this guy reached for his knife the second he saw me anyways. So I'm not gonna have just one person staying up to keep an eye on him.
All right. He says, suit yourself, kicks off his boots, puts his feet up by the fire, and settles in. I guess somebody needs to make camp, though. So go ahead and do that roll.
He's just gonna watch me make camp. He's gonna watch me fail at making camp.
Lord. All right, some kind of complication's going to happen. See what it is.
Did you want
It's-
an assist from Dahlia? You want to
Yeah.
roll one more dice?
Can Dahlia help me?
Always helps
one
us
more
make
die?
camp.
You can get one more die if you didn't already add one for somebody assisting. Because there's
Come
plenty of
on,
people
roll
to
one
assist.
d6.
I rolled
Oh,
two.
well. She's drunk again.
I don't think I've rolled good at all.
Save them
Hopefully
for
this
later.
means
That's all you're doing. Saving
I
them
was
for
gonna say
later.
if something important happens later, I hope I roll really well.
I had
Okay.
a weird dream last night. We'll save that story for later.
You are all going to set up camp, lie down to rest, and then you realize that you have chosen a camp spot that is on an ant road, and there are ants crawling all over your camp, your belongings, and yourselves. You are not going to be able to get any sleep this quarter day. You will have to shift to somewhere else to try to set up camp, and you're all going to take a point of damage to agility from getting itchy bites all over you.
That sucks. What a nightmare.
You'll have to pick up all of your stuff, relocate to another place, and then set up camp in the morning to get rest if you like.
Let's just move it to the other side of this area.
Try it again.
We could ask Simon if
Go
he
ahead
has
and
a
do
better
your
place.
food and water rolls since it's morning, and then you can try to set up camp if you want to get rest, or you can just be tired for the day and continue on.
No, I don't want to go to a demon-infested mine.
Well rested.
All right, then let's get another survivor roll to set up camp in the morning.
Jeez.
We could do
All
some
right,
hunting.
you find a better spot.
So are we now technically like exhausted or something?
You are tired until you rest in the morning.
Okay.
You've set up a camp. So now you can. Well, I guess you set up the camp in the morning, so then you're going to have to rest during the daytime. But then you have daylight during the evening if you want to go into the next hex. So in the morning, you successfully set up camp.
Yeah. Where's Simon? Did he just leave in the morning?
He's relocating with you because he also couldn't get any sleep because of the ants, and he'll set up and rest with you.
Just kind of hoping he'd go away.
All right. Well.
So you rest during the day.
You should talk to him about that, dog.
No. No one else has a problem. The orc's not
I'll
going to
stay
bring it
on
up
watch
with the
while
human.
everyone rests.
I'm also staying
All right,
on watch
I'll
while
rest.
everyone else rests.
Okay. You rest. It's going to pass uneventfully.
All right, I'll stay watch in the afternoon if these two guys want to rest. No, we did the morning, then we rested. I'm so confused about time.
We
you guys
built
just haven't
camp in the
rested.
morning. We rested in the. Y'all
Correct.
rested in the
Yeah.
midday.
In the daytime.
And now me and Grunrock
Yeah.
are going to rest in the evening.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be nightfall again in a second.
Yeah.
We're basically just
You're
camping
just
out
going to keep
here
your
all day.
camp location.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Simon is going to move on though, and he will bid you farewell and tell you one last time. I don't think it's a good idea to go near those mines, not without knowing what you're getting into. But good luck, whatever you decide.
Thanks, Simon. Bye, killer.
Good luck, Simon. Honor the dead.
And I'll just roll over to go to sleep.
I will, friend. And he marches off into the forest. You have the opportunity to talk in private this evening if you would like. Or we can jump ahead in time.
Do we want to do any hunting or anything if we have a free afternoon here or a free evening
Yeah,
here?
if you rested and the party is staying for another quarter day, then yeah, you can do some hunting or whatever. And the evening is light, so you won't take any penalties to it. So if you want to do an action in the evening, if you rested during the daytime and want to do an action in the evening other than sleep or keep watch, then go ahead and make a roll for it.
Yeah, I will forage. We got to figure out how to forage.
I will help you forage.
Nope, that wasn't a good answer. Let's find forage.
You can either forage separately, in which case if one of you has a mishap, it'll only affect one of you, or you can help each other forage and add a die.
I guess we can forage separately.
Is
More
this
dice being rolled.
forest? Would this be considered forest or dark forest?
This is regular forest.
All right, so we get a +1 to forage because it's forest.
Okay.
And then it can be done by several turns. What do I roll for forage? Survival?
Yeah.
Adam, do you want
And
to
there's no
get a
seasonal
+1 for
modifier
me?
since it's summer.
Let's do it separately.
Okay. Why are you getting a +1?
Because we're in the forest, and as I was scanning through the rule book, I just found under foraging that terrain types forest gives a +1 to forage and a +1 to hunt.
Oh, cool.
But if we were in a dark forest, it would be a -1 to forage. Or if we were in the mountains, it'd be a -2.
Cool. And we're rolling survival.
Yarp.
Yeah.
We know the rules of this game so well.
That'll be 2 units of vegetables.
Nice.
So you're going separately, you said? Or together?
Separately.
Okay. Velas got 2 units of vegetables. You got 1 unit of vegetables. And I'm going to roll a die for a thing. 1 sec.
Because I got a skull.
Velas, you see something unusual while you're out foraging.
What is it?
One sec.
You've piqued my interest.
Up ahead between some trees, you see a large stone table. Just all on its own. It's got... it's surrounded by dense and wild vegetation, but the table itself is remarkably untouched by the ravages of time and nature. It appears to be made out of some smooth gray-colored stone, and it is standing with no growth on it, rather poking out of the forest in an odd way.
I'm gonna stand there and just kind of like look around to see if I see any people or any signs of people, perhaps.
Sure. You glance around. You see no one.
I will approach the stone table and see if it has any markings or anything on it.
It does indeed have markings on it. It is surrounded by stone chairs that are fixed into the ground, about 8 of them, and it is a long rectangular table. So it has a chair at one end, and then 3 chairs on each long edge, then a chair on the opposite side. One side of the table seems to be decorated like it is the head of the table. It has sort of curved semicircular markings all along that end of the table, as though to give emphasis to whoever is seated at that end. And there are strange markings all around the table. It seems like there's a different symbol in front of each of the seats all the way around the table. And with a lore roll, you might know a little bit about what they mean.
Oh.
Got one.
These are symbols of the gods of Ravenland. You recognize the symbol of whale, flow, clay, huge. Several that you don't recognize, and at the head of the table, in the high seat, sits the symbol of the Nightwalker.
Interesting. I'm just gonna kind of look closer at the head of the table, look up at the sky. Interesting. Very weird. Well, thanks for the vegetables and the vegetation. Just like gathered up and start walking back to camp.
Sounds good.
While they're off, Josh, like once I've kind of heard them move a bit away, I'm gonna kind of tilt my head up a little bit to look over at Grunrock and say, "Hey, Grunrock, you up?"
Yeah. I'm not going to turn over. I'm just going to respond.
Yeah.
What happened here?
I'll roll onto my back and stare up at the sky through the trees.
Orcs. Iceer orcs. They came through and killed us to a man. Well, I guess I couldn't say that because I ran. I ran away and didn't stop until I hit Mistwall, or what I thought was Mistwall. Turns out it was Lingmel, and then I ran into these idiots. But they killed everyone. The sword that I carry around, I pulled it out of my best friend's gut and ran. My house was over there.
And I'll kind of just gesture in a direction.
My sister was inside when they burned it down. I couldn't tell you where my parents ended up.
I'm sorry. The Asir clan are brutal savages. disgusting. I thought no one would ever hate them more than I could, but it seems you have more reason than me.
You know, it's weird how everything can change overnight. Orcs come in and kill your family and everything you know. And then you meet one on the road,
And I'll turn and look at him.
and you let him live for the first time since you ran away. What clan are you from?
The orc you're looking for is named Alarag. I was brought
I'll
up
sit up.
and raised. I was brought up and raised in the Aesir clan with the animals. I was fed scraps off the table, beaten, treated like a dog. Worse than a dog, honestly, because they seem to be better fed. They have a want to experiment with breeding and wanted to make the most savage beast they could find, one with little intelligence, no empathy, just pure savagery. And they believed raising one like an animal after their breeding experiment would have that. Unfortunately for them, I found a connection with nature, hence why I have what I do now, but that doesn't cover up the fact that when we first met, I didn't tell you I was from the Aesir clan because I was told not to if I wanted to live. But I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. And I want to see them all burned, all dead. And if you want to get any semblance of revenge or vengeance, I know Alarag's habits, his favorite campsites, his tactics. Hell, he was the one who dragged me to that big mountain with the dwarves and ordered his men to cage me up, blamed me. It won't fix anything. It won't fix that I lied to you, but I would see him dead just as you would.
Did you kill any goblins here?
I wasn't in this raid. I was in my little cell. He came back and bragged about his slaughter a few seasons back in the Shroud. I didn't know any goblins at the time, but I do have some respect for life, and my hatred of Alarag and the rest of the Aesir clan just made me feel sorry.
We kill him together then. You took no part. You took no pleasure. Weirdly enough, I've learned to trust you somewhat, so why change it now? Especially since you were honest with me. Velas means well. I would have killed you.
And I'll roll back over.
Together then, and I'll roll back over too. Oh, I will say after like a few seconds of like Grunrock, Velas scares me sometimes. And then just go to sleep.
You and everybody.
I was gonna say under my breath,
Join the club.
Speaking of Velas, you foragers return as the sun is setting.
Ralgar, dude, I really wish that you had come with me. I mean, I'm glad to see that you found some vegetables.
Ha! I found a carrot. A different, what? Not. It's a carrot,
I
not the
found
horse.
a little bit more, but I also found
Whoa.
this really crazy table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a bunch of runes and stuff in it, and it had to be some kind of magic because, like, the vegetation was grown up all around it, but the table, nice and clean, and it had 8 seats at it, and you'll never believe who was set at like the head of the table. Just guess.
You? No, that would make sense because you found it. Zagafer.
No, but I did wonder if it was his family stable when I first found it. It was the Nightwalker. There were
The
like runes and stuff in
Nightwalker.
it, like designated as his seat. I couldn't
What
read all
other
the
runes? Oh,
I think that they were like the different gods' names. I didn't pay attention a lot.
can I roll lore on base what she's telling me to see if I can get anything deeper out of it or if I recognize it? Like to try to understand its purpose rather than what it is.
Sure. Based on her description, you can make a roll. You'll need multiple successes to know any more than she does.
Let's see what happens. Nah, nothing.
It sounds
Crazy,
strange.
right?
Yeah, we should cook dinner and we should go eat at the table. It sounds really nice.
I did wonder if like maybe we should go. I mean, we've all rested. It wouldn't hurt to go like in the middle of the night to see if, like, what if the gods actually came and like ate there each night?
Wait, you mean like Rust and Huge, like sitting around the table like a family dinner?
Yes, that's what I'm
Oh,
telling you.
that
And
would
then
be
Nightwalker
awesome.
was at the head of the table.
No, we should definitely go check it out. But first I gotta talk to my daughter. She's FaceTiming me. I'll be right back.
Absolutely. I'm gonna talk to Grunrock.
Ralgar has a
Guys,
kid.
did you know that Ralgar has a daughter?
Sigh.
What's FaceTime?
I just assumed it was necromancy magic.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
Do you guys want to go look at this table?
You
I think-
said the Nightwalker was at the head of it?
Well, I mean, like, he wasn't literally there, but like
The
there were
Nightwalker's everywhere. Continue.
I'm not convinced the gods even exist. So I'm gonna let that little comment go because the table was empty and I was the only one there. But I mean, we should go look at it. I remember where it was. Yeah,
I'll
was it?
go. I'll go.
Gives us something to explore in the night. I really don't want to move too close to a demon cave
All right.
in the middle of the night.
It is dark.
That's all right. I'll remember my way back.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so you two are going to go to the table while the rest of the group stays at camp? Do I have that
Ralgar
right?
is also definitely going.
I mean, I feel like we
The
all.
three of
I
you
feel
go.
like we pack up for the night, right? Like, or
Are you
like I
setting
think
up
we
camp
gather all
elsewhere?
our stuff. No, I just mean like we just gather
We'll,
our
come
stuff
back
and go.
sleep.
Do you
You
leave
wanna
camp
sleep?
and go together?
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should. I don't think we.
No.
I'm afraid of. This is Bill talking. I'm afraid of waking up something in the cave and then having to leave in a hurry and leaving all of our camp supplies here.
We're not going into the cave right now.
No, we're going. Are we going any closer than this? Are we going to look at the door?
I meant to go look at the table.
Right. But I mean, are we journeying any closer to the cave now than we are currently?
No, this table is off.
No,
in...
no, not the table. I mean,
Okay.
us as a
Let's see
party.
next.
Like within the next, yeah. Are we going to the next?
No,
I think
no, we're
he's-
in the morning.
tomorrow. We are going tomorrow. Is my statement. All of us have rested, so we have until.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then we should pack up all of our stuff in case, while scouting the cave, something wants to run out for us and we have to bounce.
Yeah, I agree. I say we break camp, check the table out, and then go for the cave at first light, just to get eyes on it while it's still quiet.
Yeah.
But you want to spend the rest of the night by the table?
I mean,
By the time we check it out, it'll probably, by the time we go there and come back, I can imagine that at least it's going to be a quarter day.
If Josh
Alright,
wants
yeah.
to go to the table
break
and
camp
then
and let's go
travel
look at the
tonight,
table.
then we can do that. We've all of us have slept, so there's no reason to have camp.
The table's not far from camp. You can do that. If you do any actions that are prolonged, it's gonna eat up the quarter day. If you go to the table, poke around, have a conversation, and do things, that's fine, and then you can still move on and travel. But if you do any actions like prolonged skill checks or anything that takes substantial time, then it's gonna count as filling the quarter day.
well, then it depends on what happens at the table. Let's go.
All right, let's break camp and go.
You break camp. You set out in the dark in the direction of the table. You make your way towards it. It's maybe a 10-minute walk from camp. Up ahead, you see the clearing. You see moonlight filtering down through the trees into the small gap in the growth where the table is. It's just like a shaft of moonlight perfectly highlighting the table so that you see its silhouette highlighted there in the dark. You now notice something that was not there before. Highlighted faintly by the moonlight, sitting at the head of the table in the Nightwalker marked seat, a 7-foot tall, black, rubbery, gangly humanoid figure with long, gnarled, black, rubbery fingers and no face, just smooth black all the way down the front of its face and vaguely twisted black antlers sticking up out of its head. And it is sitting at the head of the table with sort of hunched over with its long gangly arms extended and all 10 of its fingers resting at the head of the table, and it is perfectly still, not moving, and sitting in front of it on the table is a stone bowl. That's all you can see from where you are.
Does
As
this
you approach
remind
the clearing,
me?
it doesn't seem to move.
Does this remind me of an entity that I caught sight of while watching the camp one night?
Yes, indeed.
Valas, this isn't as awesome as I thought it would be.
Ralgar, it was empty last time I was here, man.
Where are the rest of the gods?
Do
I don't know.
I'm going to start walking towards the table as though compelled.
What wrong? No.
You approach
You
the
wanna-
table, leaving your friends behind in the woods. You approach the table, and the thing doesn't move. It doesn't budge an inch. It's perfectly still, still hunkered over in its throne-like seat at the head of the table. You now see that the stone bowl in front of it is a large black stone bowl, and it appears to be empty, but for faint wisps of smoke rising out of it. And the thing appears to be perfectly still. There's no sign of it breathing. There's no sign of it moving. And as you approach, it doesn't acknowledge you in any way.
I'm
You all
gonna
are gonna hate
slowly
me.
move forward too. Just slowly start to move forward, just in case.
I'm gonna take.
I'm going to take the tip of my scimitar and drag it across my palm and hold it over the bowl and drip a little bit of blood into the bowl.
Valas, what is he doing?
Take a point of damage to your strength. And when you do this, its rubbery face is going to split horizontally across the middle and open, revealing just a huge yellow eye that occupies the entire center of its face.
Great.
And it
Yeah.
glows faintly, which casts just a yellow light down in the direction of the bowl as your blood drips into it. And the head just slowly leans forwards and focuses on the bowl, sort of highlighting it.
Fuck.
Thank you for getting me to Ling Mel. Please let us all make it home.
And I'll turn and walk back towards the tree line.
As you are turning back towards the tree line, the eye closes so that there's no longer any light source coming from the table, and you can just faintly make out the black silhouette of the thing. And you see the shape of it sort of distort and contort, and then it slams itself against the table, and you hear just horrible sucking, slurping sounds coming from the table as it goes. And then you hear the bowl slam down, and then it leans back into the exact position that it was in before.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I thought that Dahlia was traumatized before. I'm just gonna turn and stare at her.
I like to imagine that, like, the three of us are just, like, poking our heads out the forest watching, and, like, Carrot's head comes out, too, and is watching this.
It's
We're all
common
like-
knowledge that the Nightwalker is sort of a god of discord that only crazy or desperate people typically worship. For the record. Grenralk, you return with your friends, and you have blood dripping from your hand. The thing at the table is perfectly still, and there seems to be no visible effect to what happened.
We can move on now unless anybody else wants to look at the other seats.
I am so deeply horrified by everything I have just witnessed here.
I don't want to go anywhere near that thing. You are the bravest goblin I've ever met.
1 foot in the grave will do that to you.
Jeez, Gwenrock.
I'm gonna grab Ralgar's arm and just start walking towards the table because I want to see if in the moonlight there are different runes showing. And I'm dragging him along reluctantly with me because I know that he can read them better.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna like very cautiously approach while pulling a wolfkin behind me. And like constantly be like looking at the table and then up at the thing and at the table and up at the thing.
Like, she's pulling me by my tail, and, like, all four of my other limbs are trying to scamper in the other direction.
Get up!
Fine, but I am not looking at that thing in its weird eye face.
Shh. Just look at the table. Read the table. I'm gonna look at the
Okay.
table. Are any of the markings
Lore roll.
different?
Lore roll. Maybe I'll get one this time. 2 successes.
All right. You recognize these symbols of whale, flow, clay, huge, and 3 other symbols that you do not recognize, but that you understand to be symbols of now forgotten ancient gods that are no longer worshipped in these lands, but you know no details of them nor their names. You recognize them as divine symbols of other gods, but they are certainly not in the standard pantheon in the present time.
I turn to Velas and I say, I don't know why, but for some reason, this table, it feels like it outdates anything we've seen before. because I see 4 runes of the gods that we know, but these 3 runes over here, and I point to them, I say, I don't know what these are specifically, but I know they're of like something more ancient. They're gods that people don't worship anymore. I don't know why they would all be together here.
Your double success on the lore roll will also tell you that the Nightwalker is considered by some to be the oldest of all gods. And that it is considered by some to be a force of nature or of discord and chaos. That it enjoys blood sacrifices and is considered by many to be some sort of god of the night and of mysteries. And
I
very
pass
dangerous.
That knowledge on. Very dangerous. Good. I emphasize that last bit.
You didn't have to tell me, man. I'm gonna stare very hard at like the 3 that he pointed out that are like not gods that he knows, trying to burn them into my memory so that next time I have the crown on and I'm talking to the elves that were supposed to have been there at the beginning of time, maybe I can like describe the symbols to them. All right, cool. I'm good. I'm ready to go then. If that's all you got.
I mean, I have one more idea.
What's that? Please tell me before you do it.
Nah. And I am going to sit down in the seat that has the symbol of, let's go with huge. We've had some fun with huge lately. The chair. I just want to see if anything happens when I sit in the chair that has the huge
You are
rune in front of it.
Bold man.
Yeah, you pick one too.
As soon as you sit down in the huge chair, the thing's eye opens, and it tilts its head up and turns to focus it on you like a spotlight. It rattles its gangly fingers on the table a little bit, arches forwards, and grabs onto the edge of the bowl, and it stretches its arm all the way across the table, scraping the bowl up in front of you until it's sitting right in front of you, and then it leans back and just watches you, tapping its hand expectantly.
I'm gonna look
when it
up
moves,
across
its
the
joints,
clearing
its
to,
joints kind of
Grunwald.
creak. When it moves, its joints kind of creak and contort, and occasionally gaps open up in its flesh, and little wisps of smoke or steam come out and just dissipate into the air.
Yeah, I just try to make eye contact with Grunwald and be like,
Only if you mean it. Otherwise, apologize and back away.
I'm gonna flip my backpack around and like fumble through it for a second and pull out my rope that's stained with blood, and I'm gonna set it down into the bowl. This is all the blood that he and I can offer you. Drop it. Lean back and stare at him.
yeah, all right, yeah, let's do that.
It's going to reach forward again, grab the edge of the bowl, and drag it back across the table. And then it turns its eye downwards, and
Get
it
into the chair.
lifts up the rope and tilts its head and looks at it. And then its whole eye splits open, revealing just a maw of sharp teeth, and it swallows the entire rope down into its mouth, and then slowly, slimily closes around it. And then it looks down at the bowl, and then it twitches a little bit, and then twitches a little bit, and then looks at you, and its rubbery chest opens up, and its black rubbery ribs stick out in different directions, revealing that its whole chest is just a maw of gaping teeth, and it lets out just an ear-piercing shriek that echoes through the entire forest, and it stands from its seat. Draw initiative.
Well, we're gonna fight an elder god.
Should have gone with the apology.
Velas, you're on 5. Grenralk, you're on 3.
You don't even have to tell me. I know.
Ralgar, you're on 6.
Okay.
Dog, you're on 2. And the thing is at 7 after all of you. Everybody gets a turn. I'm going to say that Dog and... Yeah, Dog can't swap to 2 with anybody, but you all get to go before it, so... let's start with... let's do it in order. So we'll start with Dog, because you heard the shriek from a distance, and you're probably out on the perimeter of the clearing or in the trees somewhere. So what do you do when that happens?
I mean, I see all this, and I also shout I sort of whisper, scream like, "Run!" And I turn tail.
Okay, you turn tail and run. And then we go to Grunrock. You're next. You are not directly next to the table either, so you have a head start on everybody. What do you do?
Man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna stand my ground and try and get between. I'm gonna move between Ralgar, Velosa, and the Nightwalker. I'm gonna stand in between them.
They're both shaking their heads.
We're gonna run, and if you come near me, I'm gonna grab your shirt on my turn and start hauling ass with you.
All right. Grunrock is going to approach and situate himself in front of the thing, I guess. And then Veloz.
Grunrock is smaller than me and just said that he was coming by me, so I'm going to pick him up like a small child and start running with him.
Oh, that's going to be a move roll at a -2. Go ahead. See how many successes you get. And if Grunrock wants to fight against you to not be carried off, then he can declare so, and you will have to beat him on a melee roll-off. Grunrock?
Yeah, I'm gonna resist.
All right, do a melee roll-off. You're unable to pick him up. And
this is why we don't get anywhere.
Your only option is to run for it without him, in which case you can push your move roll if you want to, or keep the result. Or you can stop and have an argument with him, in which case we will move on to the next initiative count. What's going to be?
The next initiative count.
All right, you're going to stop and have an argument with him.
I'm knock him in the head.
Ralgar.
I mean, sitting down at the table isn't going to do me anything. I can't fight while sitting down. So I'm furiously bounding over and back of my chair to get ready to run. I just look that thing as close in the eye as I can. I go, "Oh, I am so sorry. I did not understand your rules of hospitality. I thought maybe I was going to be hanging out with Huge. Big mistake. Won't happen again. Have a great night." And I bolt. I bolt towards Veloz and Grunrock. Maybe a little bit behind them.
Well, if you're bolting, then you're going to pass them very quickly because they didn't really go anywhere. So, if you're making a move roll to bolt, then you make a move roll to see how well you bolt. If you just want to go past them, then you don't have to make any kind of roll because you'll pass them very quickly.
Okay, I'll just go. I just want to be with them. We'll figure out what we're doing here.
All right. You go with them, but you said you want to stand slightly farther away than them. Was that your...
Yeah.
All right, then you just move past them and then turn around and look at them. You have an opportunity to say something to them if you want.
Grunrock, what's the plan here?
My plan was to buy you time. I've been making sacrifices to this particular god.
Since when?
Before I met any of you. Run!
Okay, and I'll just keep running then.
Okay, then make a move roll.
All right.
All right, you're just going to cover the standard distance. So, yeah, you're just going to start to run, stop, have a brief conversation with him, and then keep on running. So you're somewhere out in the tree line, just like Dog is. So Veloz and Grunrock, you two are standing there, and this this 7-foot tall, gangly, black, rubbery dude with no face is going to just come bounding towards you, and it is going to attempt to tackle one of you to the ground, and I'm going to randomly determine which. That would be Grunrock. Make an opposed melee roll against it. It gets 3 successes.
Oh.
I got 2.
All right, this thing is going to grab Grunrock, slam him to the ground, and pin him down with its long, gangly fingers. And it is opening its chest cavity and slowly lowering itself onto him. That will be its turn. We are around to Dog again.
I'm gonna notice that none of the people are as close to me as they should be, because a big monster just stood up on the table and screamed horribly, and I'm just gonna stop and look back and look down at what I have: a big club and a knife, and I'm just gonna sit down on the ground.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna wait patiently.
Grunrock, you are pinned and unable to do anything. You can spend your slow action for the turn trying to break free of its grapple if you want to attempt another melee roll off with it. At which point you will be prone and have a move action remaining. Unless you have any other ideas for what you would like to try to do. But it has the physical superiority over you and has you pinned right now, so your options are very limited.
This feels extremely stupid, but I'm going to try to petition it.
Okay. Go ahead and propose in what manner you do this.
Get down on one knee and propose.
Well, I'm underneath it. I'll raise my left hand up towards the maw, not necessarily into it, but towards the maw, and just whisper, "Stop! Stop! I've been faithful. I've given you blood. You're the only one that listened. And now you're gonna kill me yourself? I thought you were the only one that could actually do anything anymore. Now you prove me wrong in front of everyone."
Okay. You can attempt a manipulate roll. It's a difficult one, so it is a manipulate roll at a -2. However, I will throw something out there. I would propose that your pride, the eyes of the night, could be used here if you fail if you want. Because you're a creature of the night. You have been worshiping the Nightwalker of some time, and it's going to respect your affinity for its domain of power. So you will make a manipulate roll at a -2, a hard manipulate roll. But if you fail, which might be automatic if you don't have any dice, I don't know what your manipulate looks like, you can attempt your pride roll on it if you want.
Manipulated at a -2. I don't know how this is going to shake out, so I'm going to click it. But the pride thing's definitely worthwhile. Well, I'm pretty sure those negate
failure because those are negative dice, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a hard fail on the manipulate roll.
So pride time.
Yeah. Actually, oh my god, that's a triple success on the pride roll.
Did I have waited? My bad.
No, it's fine.
what you
I was
needed,
gonna warn you that your odds are very low of succeeding, but then you rolled basically the exact thing you needed because you had to cancel out both of those 2 fails and get a success on top of it, but you got a triple on the pride roll, so you succeeded by 1. Okay, so you hold up your hand and this thing has this big, long, gangly tongue reaching out to your face that has tendrils of black, rubbery nastiness coming off of it, and it freezes an inch from your face, and you feel its just foul-smelling breath on your face, and then it's going to keep you pinned, and it's going to lean back, holding you to the ground, and sit up like perfectly straight, arching its back, and the tongue extends out like a hand, and it points out through the trees and arcs its tongue hand in the direction of all of your friends as though pointing, and says, "Sacrifice. Choose."
What do you mean?
Choose. And it points at each of your friends in turn. Or die.
Let's do it then.
And I'll grab my scimitar and stab it.
Okay. You are pinned and failed the melee roll to get out, right?
I didn't even try to get out. I just
Oh,
petitioned
okay.
it. I failed the original contest, but didn't try a second time.
Yeah, it still has you pinned because you've done nothing
Okay,
to get loose,
okay.
so you won't be able to stab at it. But you can refuse
Gotcha.
if you want.
I will refuse to choose to kill
Okay.
one of my friends.
All right.
To rephrase then,
I won't lose anymore. If someone dies, it's me, but you leave them alone. Swear it.
That's going to be where the action ends. So we will go on to the next person, which will be Velas.
I'm gonna stab it. And say,
Yeah.
I say no one dies. And I'm like going right for where I thought its eye would be.
All right, go ahead. Make an attack. It's not going to get any parry or dodge rolls, but it will get its armor.
3 successes. Is this considered a monster?
Yes.
I don't know what else it
I get
would
an extra
be.
dice from that. I get another success.
Okay. It has thick rubbery flesh. Go ahead and tell me how much damage you do before armor.
Four.
Yeah, 4 damage.
Technically, you're going to have to draw your weapon and move to it, though, because you are not in
It's
arm's
right
reach of it.
next to me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't have to move because you were standing adjacent, so you can draw your weapon and stab it. Okay. I forgot you were standing right there. Okay. So how much damage?
4.
And then it'll be reduced by 1. So you're going to do 3 damage to it, which appears to be a light wound. You drag your knife across its flesh and make a big gash, and mist is just pouring out of it in a big cloud. Just wisps of like inky, smoky mist that you can't quite identify pouring up out of its body, and it lets out that ear-piercing shriek again that echoes through the clearing. And then we are on to
Me.
Ralgar.
Yeah. Whoa. I stop. I turn around and see what's happening, and realize got to get back in the fray. So, I guess I won't be able to attack because I'm too far away. But what I'm gonna do is draw my weapon, and then I want to use my hunting instincts talent.
Okay, what does that do?
I can spend willpower points to designate a person or a creature as my prey. Does that mean I can't do a monster, person, or creature? Is it person, creature, monster? Are those the options? Or is it person or monster? Humanoid or monster?
I was like person, beast, or monster. I thought. I don't know.
1 sec. You can spend willpower points to designate a person or creature as your prey. The prey must be within line of sight, or there must be a scent to follow. I think monsters count, yeah.
All right. And then what I'm interested in here is in combat, all your attacks against your prey get a +1 bonus per willpower spent until the creature is broken or until you choose to let your prey go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna burn 3 willpowers here to get a +3 on anything combat-wise I do against
Okay.
this thing.
Sounds good.
But I'm guessing that's my turn, is like just getting like amped up and baring my fangs at this thing and pulling my axe out, being
Yeah.
like, either I die or you do. You know, and getting ready to attack on my next turn.
Okay. We're around to it. Grunrock. Make an opposed melee roll against it. It's lowering itself onto you and opening its gaping maw while keeping you pinned down. It
I thought I was screwed.
you manage to writhe out of the way. You are still pinned, but its attack against you while holding you down fails. You move your face out of the way as a toothy part of it just juts out and slams into the ground next to you, trying to bite your face, and just narrowly misses. And it lets out a sound that can only be described as a chorus of frustrated noises. And we're back around to Dog.
After like seeing things slow for a second with the whole petitioning, and then all of a sudden a stab to the head and spell cast and attacks, I'm like, God, what the hell? Like I get back up and I draw my club, I guess, and I start actually I don't even draw my club. I use whatever actions I can to get as close as I can before even getting the club.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna try, I guess, and try and tackle the thing off of Grunrock is my goal,
Sure.
but I don't know how close I am.
So you're gonna try to grapple it?
Yeah, or not necessarily to hold it as much as it is to get it off of Grunrock, even if it's like
Okay.
bulldoze it or whatever.
You can run in and make an opposed melee roll against it then.
That's not gonna be the best, but I'm trying to help.
If you succeed, it'll just break its hold on Grunrock.
Any chance that it gets a minus or I get a plus because it's focused on like holding Grunrock down on the ground?
This is just you against its bulk trying to break
Okay.
it free.
Oh, against its bulk. Okay.
You shoulder into it as hard as you can. And
Wow.
you tip it over and it loses its grip on Grunrock. It goes scattering into the leaves on the ground and then turns and snarls at you, shining its big yellow lantern eye in your direction angrily. You've successfully broken its grapple, and all three of you are in arm's reach of each other now, as well as Velas. So it's like all four of you in one big melee. And we're back around to... Except Grunrock is lying prone. We're back around to Grunrock.
Grunrock.
I will get to my feet and ready my sword. Does that
Okay.
take all of it from me? I'm pretty sure that's probably a fast and a slow.
Let's see. Fast action to get up. And while you're prone, enemies get +2 on all close combat attacks against you. Yeah. You can stand up and draw your sword.
Then that's me.
All right. Then we are on to Velas.
I'm gonna stab it.
Phantom Dagger. You stab in its direction. Now it is no
Four
longer
successes.
grappling, so it is going to attempt to dodge here. At the -2. Alright, it does not successfully dodge. Here's its armor.
Damn.
It is going to reduce that to 1. Or it's going to reduce the
1
total
point
damage by 3. So how much damage
Oh.
did you do?
I did 4 damage.
Yeah, so it's going to reduce it to 1, meaning it's taken a total of 4.
I'm gonna
It
stab it
is
again.
Injured. You get to attack twice.
I do indeed.
Okay. It does not get another dodge attempt since it did already, so here's its armor.
Oh wait, I haven't been adding my Dragon Slayer.
Okay. What does that do?
Nothing.
Not
Absolutely
help me.
nothing.
Apparently, it gives
It,
me a
Its armor is
+1.
going to completely reduce the damage from that attack to nothing. So it has taken a total of 4 still. You make one more small gash in it that has more mist pouring out. And then we are on to Ralgar.
I am going to attack. I'm going to leap and try to axe its head off.
Okay. Make your swing. It has no dodge left because it used it, so it's just going to be you against its raw armor.
All right. Oh, come on.
That is 2 damage plus the 1 excess success, so that's going to be 3 damage reduced by its armor. Which is nothing.
Nice.
So you do the full 3. It is up to 7. It has a huge gash in it now. It appears injured to badly injured, but it is still up, and it is still angry, and it is still dangerous. So then we're going to be back around to it. So let's roll to see what it does. Three, huh?
It decides to forgive you.
That's not what 3 is.
Forgiveness is a slow action.
Well, it's lost one of its
That checks
actions.
out.
I think it's fast or slow action because it dodged. I don't remember which one it loses for dodging.
I think it's
Metagame.
well, I feel like that's not meta. We would know that.
All
We
right,
saw it
its huge
dodge.
lantern eye is going to open up and just cascade all of you in a bright, haunting light. Everybody's going to have to make an insight roll, and if you fail, you are going to drop your weapons and fall down in supplication at its feet. Meaning you will be prone and unarmed. Ralgar
Alright,
resists. Velocig resists. Dog fails.
Can I push it?
Grunrock fails.
Is this pushable?
Is pushing an option or not?
Yeah, you can push. Dog pushes. You both succeed on the push, but you both take a damage in the process. Yeah. Your heads are just filled with a chorus of haunting voices, and it calls to you, and the two of you are barely able to snap out of it. You actually take like 2 steps forward and start to lower your weapons, and then realize that it is in your head and manage to resist. And we are back around to
Dog, Grunrock, Veloz,
Yeah, it's
Ralgar.
not-
Yeah, me.
dog.
Since I don't have my club out yet, I'm gonna cast a spell. I have 2 willpower, which that's what it takes to cast a rank 2 spell, right? Adam, you're the spellcaster expert here.
I think.
I mean,
It
I have
depends on
2
the spell.
willpower.
Yeah. What spell are you going to cast?
It's called Bear's Claw.
Backpack explosion.
That only works on not druid spells.
I believe casting a spell.
Damage equal
The
to the power
number of
level.
willpower
So,
points you spend when you cast a spell is called its power level.
yeah. And so since you're rank 2, you can cast that spell. And if you do it at 2 willpower, you'll be rolling 2 dice. You only take a dice away if you're above the power level.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't cost 2.
So dual power.
Okay.
It costs
You pick how
It
many
costs
willpower
willpower.
points
you
to
want to,
spend.
yeah.
Yeah.
You must spend at least 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
You pick
So
how
the
many
damage
willpower
is equal
points
to
to
the
spend, and
power
that'll
level.
set the power level.
Okay. Well,
But that's also how many dice you must roll.
yeah.
So if you roll 2 dice, that's a damage of 2. And you have the opportunity, if you roll 6s on those dice, you can overpower it. But if you roll failures on that dice, a magical mishap is going to get you.
Yeah.
Got it.
And you
Okay.
must spend at least 1 willpower point. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what it is. It has to be 1 willpower.
It has to be at
but-
least 1, regardless of the rank. And since this rank is equal to your highest casting rank, you can't do anything to make it easier to cast. You just have to spend at least 1, and you pick how many.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for.
Then if that's the case for now, because it says that I strike my enemy with the force of a great bear, I hit automatically and cause damage equal to the power level, so I would just cause 2 damage.
Yeah. Without its
Um,
armor getting to resist anything.
No, it says its armor still comes into effect.
Oh,
It
okay.
just can't be parried or dodged,
Okay.
but armor still has an effect.
Well, it did just
Um,
get a turn, so it has parries and dodges available again. So,
Okay.
so it would get around that at least.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Then I'll do that first before I pull out my club.
All right, so you're spending 2 willpower.
Yes.
What's the name of the spell again?
It is Bear's Claw.
Okay, cool. I'm just trying to visualize. So you're just going to like do a big swipe, and this big like spirit claw is going to grow out of your arm and slash at it.
Yeah, and then I
Bear
roll
Claw.
2. I'm spending 2 willpower, right? So I roll.
Right. So you roll
2 dice.
2d6. Ones are
I'm
very
assuming
bad.
I don't have a
Sixes
bear's
are very
claw.
good.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally normal cast. It gets an armor roll to see if it reduces the damage.
Yeah.
Do we need to roll the crown?
It does reduce the damage. Your willpower is burned, but without any
That's-
negative effect.
Yeah. Worth a shot.
Bummer.
All right.
Does that
Alright.
is casting a
Velas had
real
a
quick,
question there that is
I-
worth asking.
Amy does have a question. Before that, either way, because I cast the spell, that attack is a slow action. Can I use my fast action to draw the club now?
Yeah.
Okay. I do that. Amy, fire away.
I just don't know what to roll for the crown.
I don't know what
'Cause
your question means.
Bill just did some
And
magic.
Bill just
He
did
got
magic,
crown
and the
with
crown
it.
is in my backpack on my body.
Right. I'll take care of it.
This could. Yeah.
The crown blasted away the spell before it could resolve, but it wasn't going to do anything anyway.
No. It would have actually
There's
done 2 damage.
backpacks wasted.
It would have done 2 damage, but the crown stopped it. Josh, don't ruin my hopes and dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then we are on to Grunrock.
I am going to attack it, boss. Swing the scimitar.
Okay. It will attempt to dodge. Fails to dodge. You get a hit
Okay.
for 2
I
damage.
want to spend a willpower to ignore his natural armor.
Okay. Spend the willpower, and that means he will take 2 damage from it, putting him up to 9. He is badly injured. Any other actions this round? Does that conclude it?
Let me see. I might have another attack. Give me just a second. Yeah, I'll spend another willpower to take a second attack.
Okay. right. Armor against that.
Yeah. Okay.
That
Dang.
one's completely reduced. He's taken 9. And we are on to Velas.
Gonna stab it.
Yeah, you are. Bummer.
Ooh.
Horrific. Do you make any other attacks?
I'm gonna stab it again.
That's better.
That was better.
Now if it doesn't roll 4 6s. Okay, good.
It's going to reduce.
So it takes 3 more damage.
Okay. You sink the dagger into its eye, tear it open. White light pours out of it, and the whole thing just lets out this echoing shriek through the clearing. It starts to turn inside out, crumple, and twist down into a pile of just rubbery, writhing nastiness, and then it explodes into just a cloud of smoky mist that rises and dissipates up into the air. Over in the direction of the table, there's a faint glow of light, and you see the stone bowl start to glow, and it slowly just sinks and melds down into the table and disappears, leaving the table dormant just like the first time you saw it.
I'm going to turn and look at the rest of my friends with my dagger. My eyes now all black, just like panting. Oh, it's not what I thought was going to happen when I brought you guys here.
I look at Grunrock and I just go, Grunrock, I am so sorry.
Don't be. The gods are bullshit.
And I'll turn and walk away.
God, he is so cool. I just want to.
There's another mist explosion behind him as he's walking away.
I just want to do a roll here to see what would have happened. Cool. Okay. Good.
All right. You gonna return to camp?
Holy shit. I think we have to heal, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Anyone want to loot the area?
I don't think there's any loot.
You haven't
Yeah,
looked?
Velas, you want another magic bowl? Oh, wait, no, it
Yeah,
disappeared.
wait, wait.
Never mind. Never mind.
How about this? Let's not touch anything. Let's not sit down at any more tables. Let's not anger any other deities and just call it a night.
Yeah, but why are all those runes there if the Nightwalker was the only one here?
I'm going to
It
grab
doesn't
by his
make
tail and
sense.
start walking.
All right. You make your way back to camp, and or no, were you gonna journey on or set up camp?
We were gonna journey.
You were gonna journey on. What do you want to
We were
do?
gonna
What does the party do?
set back camp up. We can cook these vegetables.
Yeah,
get
I
some
I
think
won't
we
rest.
need
require
to-
another make camp roll because you had a place picked out and you remember where it is.
Yeah, I think we
Alright.
need to.
But you won't be able to rest
Settle
this
back
quarter
down
day.
for a
Is
minute.
the compromise. You don't have
We'll
to
just
roll
rest
for
in
it,
the
but you
morning.
can't rest this quarter day. So you'll have to rest during the morning
Fair enough.
quarter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll work.
We weren't going to
out.
be able to rest after this happened anyway.
Yeah, you think any of us were gonna be sleeping?
Okay, so you set up camp. Morning comes, and go ahead and make your food and drink rolls, and then you can rest if you like.
I want to cook these vegetables before they spoil, but I also need to get some rest at some point.
You've got at least a full day cycle, I believe. You can also just eat one to not have to roll the die, but
I'd rather cook them.
yeah.
What's everyone out of food? Grunrock's on a D10. Velas still has. Velas is on a D10 now. I'm on a
I've been on
D8. Dog's on a D8.
And you got my 2 things of
Are we
vegetables
doing
that-
watch or are
Okay.
we all just resting?
I can once I do the cooking. I'll watch and cook if I can at the same time.
You can't.
I can't.
I can watch. I only took damage to my infantry.
I mean,
They're both
if we're setting a
actions during
watch,
quarter
either
day.
way, if we're doing a watch, either way, we're not adventuring until evening. So we may as well just whoever's on watch is watching.
Okay, so who's sleeping this morning?
I'll sleep.
Okay.
I'll sleep because I also took damage.
Oh, you should sleep too. I'll keep
Yeah.
watch.
All right. They're sleeping.
Nah,
You're keeping watch.
I'll roll
Ralgar's cooking.
3. Nice. That's how many we have. So I can turn up to D6 units of vegetables into food.
So that's
So
3
I'm
dice
turning-
worth of food that you can distribute however you want.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Dog, you take 1. I'll take 1. And Velas, I'll bump you back up to a D12. So now you just took a hit.
Thank you. Can Dahlia keep watch, or is that not something she can do?
I think we're just hanging out at camp for today and resetting, and we'll move on tomorrow.
Okay. Grunralk,
Yes, sir.
you're having a weird dream, buddy. In your
Lay it
dream,
on me, boss.
you drift away to sleep. You're out for you don't know how long. In your dream, you are standing in a forest clearing. It is cold, bitterly cold, and there's a full moon shining down on you. In this forest clearing, you are sitting, gazing up at the moon, feeling almost as though it's watching you, feeling vulnerable. And strangely, after a moment, you notice a weird sensation, and you're not sure why you didn't notice it previously, but something slimy is pulling and sucking at your entire left hand. And you look down, and to your horror, that black monster from last night has just this rubbery mouth closed around your whole hand, and it is chewing and sucking on your hand. It pulls off and licks a big rubbery tongue around whatever you could consider lips on this weirdly shapen mouth, and you see little bits of your blood trickling down its chin, and then it closes up again and lets out like a satisfied groan, and you look down and you see the bloody wound on your hand. And then it places its big rubbery gnarled hand on your head and tilts it up towards the moon, and you have a vision in the moon, a secret, a mystery revealed to you. You see a vision of the past. You don't know how you know it's the past. You just know that it's the past. Maybe it's something about the trees being a little greener, the air smelling a little sweeter. It feels like you're gazing into a past before things were quite as dark as they are now. You see children playing, 3 of them. Their mother, some sort of noble dressed in beautiful garb, is watching them play and run. And you think that the mother is a human, and the children all have pointed ears. And then you see the stern face of their father step up onto a balcony, looking down and watching them play, and you recognize the face because it is the face of Zygofer that you have seen imprinted on a coin in the past. But you see him in the flesh, looking down at his 3 children playing. And as you are observing this vision, everything disappears into smoke, and then you're in a dark, cold mine, alone, shivering. And there's something huge and hulking lurking in the darkness. And it is creeping towards you. And it has the voice of a little girl. And it says, "Will you..." Somebody's typing and it's loud.
Hank's taking notes while you talk to him.
Sorry.
It's okay. It has the voice of a little girl. And she says, "Will you play with me?" And then the monster reveals itself out of the darkness as it steps into your torchlight. And it is just a huge gelatinous mass with the vaguely contorted face of a girl imprinted on the face of it, and it's reaching for you, and it's opening a giant maw to try to swallow you whole. But the gangly black creature reaches down and places something against your face that feels wet and slimy. And the girl looks. The girl monster looks and tilts her head, and she says, Zertorm? Brother? Is that you? Chase me! And she runs off down the hallway and spares you. And then the gangly monster, after the girl's gone, peels it off of your face and turns it around to face you, and you realize that it is the hideous, fleshy face of a man that it has put on your face like a mask. Everything disappears into smoke again, and you receive one more vision of a tall tower surrounded by colorful flames. And inside of the tall tower, there is a mannequin with the face mask pinned onto it, and it is guarded by some sort of demoness, a winged female figure with flaming wings. And she's staring at it and gently caressing it with a finger and looking at it like she covets it. And then everything dissolves away again, and you're standing under the moonlight. And the thing takes a couple of steps backwards, licks its lips one more time, and then disappears into mist. You awaken to the smell of cooking vegetables.
I'll roll over, rubbing my head, and then sit up really quickly, realizing what just happened.
I think I know what we need to get into the mines. But you're not gonna like it.
Okay.
We need Zertorm's face. And a
Oh,
demon
easy.
is guarding it.
Where's his face if not attached to his face?
A mannequin inside a flaming tower. Kinda seemed like Amber's Peak to me.
Oh no.
I could be wrong though, but I don't quite know of any other giant tower surrounded by colorful flames.
The only tower I've seen was that invisible one we saw. Or rather, I saw. I don't remember who saw.
There's another thing. All of this was a premonition, a dream, a vision. I don't quite know how to word it. But it was because of that thing that we fought last night. It was because of the Nightwalker. He showed me the past. He showed me the creature in the mines. And he showed me the mask, the face that would fool it. It recognized it as Zertorm, her brother, and ran from it, wanting to play a game of chase. Whatever's in those mines will kill us if we don't have that mask.
Okay, then. That sounds like we gotta go steal a face from a demon. That sounds fun. Does anyone want any carrots?
Ralgar wasn't around for Amber's Peak, so Ralgar doesn't know how much Amber's Peak is a problem.
Nope. Ralgar's just down to clown.
You all discuss while I pull up experience stuff. I'm going to
Oh my-
advance us to the next quarter day so everybody can be rested when we resume.
So I will have had a chance to rest before we play again.
Yeah, kick
Yeah.
it forward a quarter day. There's going to be no further encounters today, and everybody gets their rest. So you can go ahead and update all that.
Yeah, okay, back into stepping back out of character. Flaming Tower, I don't know if it's the invisible one we saw. I don't know if it's...
The invisible tower you
The-
saw was not flaming, and the tower that you saw in the dream, you were inside of some sort of stone tower or castle, and you could see multicolored flames shooting up the walls outside of the windows. Looked very reminiscent of the flames you'd seen before at Amber's Peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't a room that you recognize, and you can't be certain, but you've never seen multicolored flames like that elsewhere.
That's the vibe I got, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Dog's not seen the other, like, Amber's Peak either, so. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost
We've
a very
beaten
short
demons. We've beaten elder gods. We've beaten iron hulks of armor. Why do you guys look so concerned about a demon guarding a mask in a flaming magical tower?
Because the demon that's guarding the mask is torn.
Well,
We think.
Okay.
Grunrock saw somebody guarding the mask that looked like a demonic female with flaming wings standing in this room admiring the mask on the mannequin. It was someone he's never seen before.
Yeah. But
Last
she
time-
she really likes that face.
The last time that we were in Amber's Peak, we barely got out alive. Okay, Vergello was helping with some kind of ritual that was supposed to help, like, garner us favor, essentially. And it wasn't a large rock like they said. It was a dragon's egg, and I was trying to look at the face of the person leading them, and the dude, like, blasted a fireball at me. The only reason I survived was because Marigold got involved, and we're not exactly his biggest fan.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they caught you by surprise last time, but this time it's your turn to catch them by surprise. Not to mention, if we know we're going to be fighting a demon, maybe we can find some people that have some things to help us fight demons. Because last time we fought a demon, I mean, it was Lin. It was a Lin demon.
There's also the
and
fact
maybe-
that the town's ruler sent his armies of Asleen riders out as search parties to try to seize and arrest you and drag you to him. So you're kind of
It's all
wanted by the
manageable.
entire town.
maybe we just regroup with
I mean, I've got a
your
different hair
friend
now.
Vergello.
Yeah, we'll talk to him and see what he's
I
got.
say this, I'm not going in those mines without that demon mask. Especially not if Grunrock was visited by the very elder god that we just killed.
I think killed is an exaggeration. We
Yeah, of
definitely
course,
backed him
elder
off.
gods never die. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going in those mines. Hard pass.
Yeah, we'll pack up, head to Vergello.
All right. Let's get XP here. One sec. I had it and then
Well, we
accidentally
wanted to
scrolled off.
scout the mines. We scouted the mines. Now we
I
know
think-
whether we can
yeah.
go in them or not.
Honestly, yeah, no,
We can't.
I'm so happy.
Uh,
Killed. You keep saying this word.
Did you participate in the game session? Did you travel through a new hex? Did you discover a new adventure site? Technically, you haven't gone to it. Did you defeat one or more? Also, I might have given you an XP last time when it was revealed to you, so I don't know if that gets double counted. Did you defeat one or more monsters? Yes. Did you find a treasure worth a gold or more? No. Did you build
What
a
about the
function on your
friendship of
stronghold?
Grunrock? No, never mind.
Did you activate your pride? One person did. Did you suffer from your dark secrets? I don't think any of them were relevant this time. Risk your life for another player character. Grenrock definitely gets one. You ran back and put yourself in front of the boss when everybody else could have fled. Perform an extraordinary action of some kind. I'm gonna give another one to Grunrock for the blood sacrifice, getting the vision, all that. Grunrock's getting a whole bunch of bonus this time. It's a good session
Well
for him. And that will do it.
Cool.
I think that's the
GG.
most like extra points one person has gotten in a session over the rest of the party. Grunrock gets like 6. But it was a good session for Grunrock. He did a lot of stuff and a lot of role play.
Yeah.
GG, Hank.
GG, thank you.
Um,
I feel like I went back and risked myself to put the rest of the party in danger, but you know what? I'll take the point.
We're back at it. Thank you for watching. If you've been watching, Elric, good to have you back. Didn't have a chance to acknowledge you earlier when I saw you in the chat, but thank you for watching as always, and anybody else who's watching. We are back at it, so we're going to be doing this about every 2 weeks again, and I will continue to post the schedules ahead of time. So welcome back, and we will be continuing on soon. I think, as far as I know, we'll do this again 2 weeks from today. Does anybody know of any reason we can't do the 22nd?
Hi, it's me. I'm the problem.
Okay.
I might have to be adventuring. I'm gonna be in London from the 19th until the 9th.
That's a
Yeah.
long way. Okay. If you were just gone for 1 weekend or something, we could bump it a week. But yeah, we'll probably
I'll
NPC you for
look
around.
at my schedule because the girl's gonna be with me for a little bit, and then I might be able to
Okay.
do a late night one night.
We'll figure it out off stream, and I'll post